All right, welcome everyone. Thank you all for joining another Devpost Build Session. My name is Darlise Calix. I'm the Developer Marketing Manager here at Devpost. I'm really excited to be here for this build session with DataHub. We have Lakshay Nasa, who will be presenting from zero to a working DataHub agent in 30 minutes. A little bit about this session. So we will be having a live demo. This will be recorded, and then we will have Q&A as well. So a couple of things to note. If you do want to ask questions, you can use the Q&A feature, which is going to be towards the bottom of your screen if you're on a computer or on your phone. It's going to be at the bottom of your screen. If you don't see it immediately, click on the little like three dots that say more, and then you'll be able to see Q&A. Everyone is allowed to post a question, and then at the end, towards the end, we'll answer any questions. If there are questions that are relevant during the presentation, we'll kind of like weave it through as we see. Sorry, I need water, my God. As we see fit. But other than that, it's going to be a good session. There will be a recording. We'll also send an FAQ document after this session. And so it'll have a list of all the questions that were answered as well as those answers as well. I'll also drop in the chat. I'll also drop in the chat a list of some resources that should have been sent to you when you first registered for the workshop. But if you missed it, I'll drop them in the chat. And this is just going to contain like the quick start guide, the MCP server guide, agent context kit, data hub skills, the sample database, that obviously the hackathon page, and the community Slack. So if you have questions even after this about DataHub or what happened during this workshop or about your projects or anything that you're doing, you can go ahead and join the DataHub Slack, specifically in the Agent Hackathon channel, to ask your questions there. All right, I hope everyone's excited and ready to learn and ready to build. I'm going to pass it off to Lakshay.
Thanks, Alice. Hey everyone, welcome. I would say first, thanks for next 45 minutes for you will be with us. And bit about me, Alice introduced me, but I'm Lakshay. I'm developer advocate at DataHub. And if you are part of DataHub community, you must have seen me around. So the title says from zero to working DataHub agent in 30 minutes. So in demo terms, that means we have done the scary part of the camera, and I am quietly hoping Wi-Fi holds. And but everything you will see, you can run yourself, and I will show you every command, explain things up, and a bit of things like if you have never touched DataHub, you will leave knowing how to build an agent on it. And if you are more senior, I will drop the why behind each piece as we go. So stick with me. Let me share the screen. Darling, is the screen visible?
Yep, screen's visible.
Awesome. So just a bit of context on the hackathon. The data is covered a lot. So before we begin, we are running the agent hackathon. The whole theme is simple: build agents that are actually grounded in real context from DataHub. Agents that know your data instead of guessing. It's 5 weeks and $20,500 in prizes. Four challenges categories. I'll walk you through them one by one. And submission closes 10th of August. So if you're building, nothing else today, at least register. That's part is free. So here's the one idea behind the whole thing. So yeah, we have been into the AI era, right? And AI model is really smart these days, right? But they are sometimes also blind if they don't have the right context. It doesn't know which table feeds your dashboard, who owns it, what is the governance behind it, what is the lineage, or what if that column in your dashboard got deprecated last week, right? So data hub is the part that knows all of that. So the model is the brain, data hub is the context, and the agent that you will build in this hackathon is like something on you, right? So it's all about putting all these three things together and solving up the problem. So if we talk about the four challenges, the first one is the agent that do the real work, right? So let me see if I can open this up. Okay. So the first one is agents that do the real work. The agent reads data hub, does something in the real world, and writes the result back. So the next person or the AI agent can inherit the right information. And then we have the second category, which is metadata aware code generation category. Like your agent reads the real schemas and lineage from DataHub before it writes the code or your DBT pipelines or anything in the code generation. So it's far more likely to work the first time, instead of hallucinating and then you are correcting it up. So when it has the right context. And third one is for the machine learning fellows. So it is about building the production machine learning agents that could trace the path from training data to features to models to deployments. If something is broken in the feature stage or in the deployment phase, it would be help to catch it out or maybe help to improve it as well if you make that possible in your agent. So and fourth one is the open wildcard. So if you doesn't light into those categories or you're building something mix of all three, I think this is the category to go to. And uh, yeah, so this is the category to go to if you are not sure which category you're building upon. And we have different tools you can connect the data hub to, like MCP server, agent context kit, and data hub skills. We will be walking through each of them one by one as we start the like the build steps in this session. So but before we jump to that, just one clear definition about DataHub I wanted to share is like DataHub is an open source platform that acts as the context layer for your data and for the humans on your team, and also for the increasingly for AI agents too, right? So think of it as the live map of your whole data stack, every table, every dashboard and model, how they connect to each other, what is the upstream, what is the downstream, and who owns them, whether they are healthy. It started as whether they're healthy or they're deprecated. So, your agents or the teams can take the right decision based on that. So DataHub started as a data catalog. Today, it's overused by more than 3,000 organizations and it's fully open source. And the map that you see onto the, wait, let me even if you give you a bit of idea. For example, this is the DataHub UI. So once you spin up the DataHub locally, I will show you the command how you can do that. You will see this kind of interface. And for example, if we show patients, and this is one of the table for the row patients. And so you can see all the, this one's, yeah. So you can see all the schema here, the real columns, their types, and then we have the lineage as well, like from where this table is flowing. So this row patient table is feeding to the other two staging patients table and to the virtual staging from row, like it's a virtual table that we have created into the SQLite. And then we can also see if we want to know like who owns this table. This table is owned by the clinical team. And if you wanted to explore the columns, you can have that as well from here, or the each of the columns, like how they are feeding to one another. Now, let's see how you can spin this up. So, getting data up running locally is generally two commands. So once you go to the docs.datahub.com, jump to the quick start guide, and you will just go to the, like if you're a Brew user on Mac, you can use this. If you're pip, you can use this. Or if you're a UE fan like me, you can go with that as well. So I've already spinned up the data locally to save time. Since if you are first time running it up, it will download the images and them up, so it will take a few minutes. But we are on to the, yeah, so I already spun it up locally and it's working. And yeah, it's here. So it will be, once you spin it, it will be accessible at localhost 9002. And once you land into this, it will be empty for you. So to feed it some data, you can either go with the some data commands, like you can have your you can load up the sample data pack, which is load show e-commerce. It will be the completely metadata that will appear into the data hub, but it won't give you the real data set to work with. So if you want to want to use some real data sets, we have a static asset repo. The link is in the resources message that Darl is dropped in the chat. I can drop that again. So we'll drop it again after the demo ends. So you will once you jump to it, you will find multiple data sets. Like we have the fiction retail, we have healthcare, we have with NYCT. I think this is the most famous one. You must have worked upon it. And each data set has some planted problem in it. So if you are using it with your agent, it can found those problem. For example, if you are working onto the category, which is the first one, like some working with the uh, real production agents, right? So at that time, they can find the problem, give you the solution for it if you're building on that. So and to ingest into the data, once you have run it with the DataHub Docker quick start command, as I said, you can go with the sample data set, this one, or if you wanted to work with the real data sets, which is more important, like I think for the agents. So you can just ingest the YAML, which is into this after getting into the this directory, like I've taken it up here. And you can just run these commands. I've already run it, so that's why you were able to see the data patients here, like this. So this is the data is coming from this sample data set only, right? Now, that was about the data hub. So like how you can run it up. And I think it's simply a two commands. If you are new to it, like just pip install Acryl data, like Acryl data hub and start with the data hub docker quick start. After that, since it's the agent hackathon, so first thing is let's see about, as I tell you, there are multiple ways you can connect data hub to your AI tools. Let's first see at the how you can connect it with the cloud, and then then we'll see how you can build your own agent and connect to it, right? So to connect it with the cloud, you can connect it with the so you can use it with the MCP server as well, and for the with the data hub skills as well. So let's see the MCP server. Start this up, start the code session. So yeah, even before that, just a bit of explanation because sometimes this trip the folks up. Data speaks its own language, right? So Cloud and AI tools speak something called MCP, like a Model Context Protocol, right? So there is a little MCP server that sits in the middle and translates. So if you are on DataHub Cloud, it's hosted for you. But for Hackathon, it's preferred if you go with OSS Core, like a self-hosted version, which is this one. So for that, that is just a one line, and we can just set it up with a UV, or if you are, yeah, and to add it to the code, you can just simply use this command. Another thing you can take care of is if right now, if you use this directly, it will just read the context from data, right? If you wanted to write the context back to data, you could use something like this. So this just says, just add your data and to cloud, and then you give it the GMS URL. So in DataHub, this one is the UI localhost where you go to, and 8080 port is the one where the GMS lives, right? So you give it the GMS URL, and then you get the GMS token. To get the GMS token, you need to go to your settings, and then you need to go to the like access tokens and create it from here, right? I've already created it and set it up in my environment, so I'm just passing it directly. But the third one is you need to add is the tools is mutation enabled. So this helps your like Cloud or Cursor or whatever you're using up to write back to the data hub as well if there any context is missing, or you want to update your any duplicated column or any of the ownership or anything, right? So and one more thing you need to take care of is the like if you spin this data for first time, this will be grayed out for you. So you need to generate the one-time token to provide it into for your cloud to write back to DataHub and read the access, right? So at that time, what you can do is, I'm dropping the docs in the chat. You can refer to these if these are grayed out for you. And like if you still feel stuck, if it is still grayed out for you, just come into Slack and tag me, and I will help you out to go out of it. So it's just for the safety reason it is being grayed out for the first time. So if you're spinning up the data for the first time, it will be just you need to enable it from the from the configuration. So once you do that, you can just run this up. Now let's do one thing. Let's see how it connects now. Okay, I think it is I just copy pasted. That's why it was giving some error. Let me add this one. Okay. Yeah, now I think it will work. Minute. Yep, it's connected now. Just to say again, say it's connected now. So what you can do is, let's just test it out once. And so, for example, I can ask what data sets do we have about initial value? See that, at first I told you there are multiple ways you can connect with the DataHub through your AI tools. It could be the Agent Context Kit, it could be the DataHub Skills, or it could be the MCP server, right? Though I integrated the MCP server since my cloud session already had the DataHub skill set up, so it just selected that, right? But the beautiful part is, if by any chance it fails this, it will jump back to the MCP server, but I hope it will not. Yeah, it will just query. So we just saw the in the meantime it's working. It got the results, but we saw how to set up the MCP servers, so it can talk through that as well, and we have the data skills as well. I will walk you through that output. Just let me show you the skills. So we already have these skills, so that's why I picked those. Like despite of MCP servers, so it favored these. So we saw the MCP server, like how you can connect it via the MCP, how you can like it in live, it use the data skills. And for the agent context kit, we will see into the agent the mini agent that I have built, like how you can use the agent context kit. So let me walk you through this once. So if you look at what it pulled back, it will, so like it says the owners, it has the schema and the description of the each table. And if the owner and tags are not there, it will just don't show these. And I think it will also get you the, yeah, the pipeline shape as well, like raw patient feeds the staging patient and we so yeah, like this similar thing I showed you this here as well. This one, the same thing, it was able to fetch it from there, right? So so that's how you connect it to the any pre-existing AI tool like Cloud Code, Cursor, whatever is your favorite go-to AI tool, right? But I know everyone here is to build their own agent, like how you can build that. So let's get into that. Cool. So for this live demo, what I did was I built a tiny agent. So it's about, I don't know how much, I think 50 to 60 lines. Okay, 71 lines. And we do one thing. I'll just run it up and then I will walk you through how it how it works. And then we'll also do the one sort of a we'll give the cloud the code and it will give a cloud code the prompt and it will see how it can you can improve it and how you can customize it bit for like uh, when you're working on any of the category at that time. So let me do one thing. Uh, So it will take some time till we post the terminal. So this agent is thinking out loud. See, these uh, calls will go back via the agent context kit. Like agent context kit is a uh, sort of a different tools that has been provided to the uh, provided via the length, the length graph, but as your favorite go-to uh, coding tech stack. And so it will find out which tool is right to use here and then connect back to DataHub and get the source from there. So basically this tool will improve the context for us. So for example, in the meanwhile, I can show you, if I go to this, so you won't see any documentation or you don't see any tag here, right? But I think it has done its work. Yeah. So when we run it, it uh, was looking for any data quality issues and it was looking for if any of the table doesn't have the owner assigned. So this didn't add the owner assigned. Yeah, there was no owner. So I think it's like the raw patient one. We'll try this as well. Yeah, look. So this is a tiny agent that I said it doesn't works on loop that it will look for the each table and then assign the right tag to it or fill in the documentation for each. That is the expandable part you can do by yourself once you're building your own. But it added the documentation, it assigned the owner and it assigned the tag. Let's do one thing. Let's run it once more and see if it can. I actually haven't tried this even. I just set it to work for one. But if it can find the other data quality issues, or if there any of the table doesn't have the owner, it will also ping that. Maybe I can walk through it in the meantime it's working.
In the meantime, there was one question in the Q&A. Someone asked, is it a must to use the 4 sample datasets to build the agent, or can I do it with any free open datasets?
No, you can use any open data set, but it should be compiled with the, I think, Apache 2.0. Like it should be allowed to share it openly, because once you submit it to the judges panel, the repo will be open. So it shouldn't be like a commercial data set. You can use any of it.
Perfect. Thank you. And for anyone else who has questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A or in the chat.
Yeah, sure. We'll just open the chat as well side by side. Cool. Okay, the output also came in, and yeah, look, this time it picked up the V-billing from staging, which I was showing you earlier. I didn't know it has this capability as well. But let me take you back to this. So I can refresh this. Yeah, look, it added the description about it, like what are the issues with this, and okay, owner it didn't assign this time. Uh, it will assign owner once we extend this agent, which I will do in a while. But it added the tags like need review because there was no owner and there were some data quality issues. Cool. Let me quickly walk you through how it is built. Okay. So first is like this complete agent is generally, I would say built on 3 things. So one is the framework that runs the agent loop. So there are a few you could use. You can find it into the uh, like recommendation. If you are building with agent context kit, you can build it with the LangChain. You can LangChain or LangGraph. You are going with the Google ADK, you can use that as well, or whatever. But I have gone with the mix of LangChain and LangGraph. So coming back to it. So yeah, so LangChain is the broader toolkit, and LangGraph is built on top of it for the agents that loop and hold on states. So we had a reading state, then we have the writing state. So that's why the LangGraph was also used. And like this first thing is the framework, and second thing is the DataHub tools. So like this tools. So if you check out the tools again, you will find in the agent context kit like there are uh, I can go to the LangChain and guide from there. Yeah, to get all of the tools like reading tools, write tools that so your the agent that you are building can connect back to the data. You can just use the pip install and data agent context kit, and that will do the work. And so that is the data tooling. For example, in our case, we uh, in the tools we enable to include the mutations. So this helped the, like you saw in the documentation tab, it was able to write back to the to this table, right? So that's where this thing helps us. So that's how you can enable the tooling and set it from here. And one more thing is this, like behind it, there are actually 22 tools which data uses. So 10 are for reading and 12 are for writing back to the data. Like if you're writing the tags, glossary, any definitions, or uh, um, uh, writing something else. So 12 cover those. So there are total of 22 tools. And these same tools serve onto the MCP server as well. So which we just integrated. See. So yeah, here we can see these. So there are the tools and there are the right tools. You can learn about all of them here, like the search, can it actually, like when you're building the agent, you don't need to, set each of them individually. Once you have set it up the agent and you have set up the build language in tool and select your client, it will do the most of your work, right? And same is for the MCP server. Like if you like in this agent, I haven't used like I haven't set it as the MCP client, but I use the DataHub SDK and the Agent Context Kit to set it up. And there is no MCP server here. So if you want to build agent that could act as the MCP client and talk to the like MCP server and talk to the data via the MCP, you can do that as well. So, but here we don't have any server to run. And third thing, like first was the framework, second was the tooling that we have used, and then uh, third is the brain, like which model you're using. I'm using the Anthropic, so I've set up the key in my environment, and it's just using of that model to brain. And like it's, you can consider it like it uses the context from DataHub. LLM uses its brain to examine like what are the conditions. So our conditions lives into the goal.py, like how the system prompt is set. And yeah, like you will get this complete repo. I'll drop the link to this in the chat. So you can also use this up to build things out. But I would say it's just a learning part, right? It is not something which will get you the production level submission level product you can submit for the hackathon. Think about it, how you can how you're solving the some real time problem, how much you can take it at, and then build upon it. So yeah, and it is picking up from the goal. So we are importing it into here, into this, and system prompt is set for the first category that we studied about, which was the to build the real working agents. And one quick reassurance, right? You don't have to hand type every line of this code. These days, you usually let an AI assistant draft it. So there is a prompt right here, which you can use to build something similar. And uh, like but the important part is if you are working on some another agent, which like this one is configured for the do real work, but if you are working on to some other category, the you can just change up the task from here, and you can work on it, right? But uh, I would say that again, would say like this prompt gets the demo level starting point, and it won't be a finished production agent, right, that you have to build your own, but it's a good thing to get started. And someone was asking in the chat, like, before we move ahead, I just remember this question. Like, I should use the which tooling to connect to the data, right? So I think you can go with MCP, Agent Context Kit, or any of it. Both of them use the same toolkit underneath. So, for example, when I was showing you the data MCP server, the tooling is here, right? So even some of these are same for the data skills as well. So, so it's just a different ways to connect to the data, right? So it's a data skills. I'll use random. So you can see the connector skills, right? The lineage, the skills, the configuration, all of this. The search one. Search one is the common and on three to search the right data sets. Right. Look in the MCP as well. This is available here. Now, as I said, I didn't actually hand type this complete agent. Uh, Let me show you how I actually built it because this is how I think everyone builds in 2026. So as I told, these data skills are quite helpful. So if you want to, so if you are vibe coding or doing the agentic engineering, what you can do is you can pick up these skills from the documentation and just run this, and this will add the like it will install the skills. And if you are onto the cloud code, you can just add them directly to the like via this. Um, yeah, sure. I will get you will get this complete repo, but I'm just repeating again that it will be just a learning for you. Don't just depend on this, right? Find a real problem you want to solve and take this as a learning and then build on your own version. Because it's the this mini agent, I would say, just a wrapper around the agent context kit. It is just putting it together, and the data set is quite simple one. So that's why it is able to it's I think it is not really a good thing to submit, right? But you will get this repo to learn from, definitely. So once you set the skills, I feel the skills will help you to build this more better way, right? For example, right now this agent doesn't get us the for example, if we go here, you saw it doesn't assign any owner, right? It just flagged us that there was an issue, there is no owner. Like it said, wait, let me do it bigger. Like, see, no owner assigned, it's just flagged the issue, right? So our first category is the agent that do the real work. So let's extend this agent now. So what I'm gonna do is you'll find this prompt and you can just directly copy it up. This is- So it will just improve the goal.py and by just changing things in the, it will just, assign the owner as well for us. So, like when you're working with data, we'll encounter these URN a lot. So, I've seen data, these URN are it's just the unique ID for every asset in catalog, a data set, maybe a column or a dashboard. So, data can, build those lineage between them, or it can remember its proper metadata configuration for these. So, and you don't need to memorize these, but just wanted to share it up so you don't confuse with the URL term. But we told it that if there is no owner, assign it with the data. We just gave it a custom URL here for the data. So it had changed this. So it has made this change. Now let's rerun it. And this time there is no owner you can see, but once it does the work, we'll see the data hub owner here. And in the same way, you can extend its capabilities to do more work. For example, if you don't want to auto assign the owner, you can, build some configuration which will ping you on Discord or Slack, and uh, you can assign the owner from there. It can automatically ping up the team from there, right? But it did the work. Uh, so it work onto the demographics staging. Let's do that. So I see it didn't assign to this one. Maybe I will run it again and it will assign the owner here as well. It assigned to some other one. So I told you this is a mini agent, right? So it could have, the good part was it could have worked on the loop and look out for each of the table which doesn't have the owner or doesn't have the like right description, or doesn't have the, like, might have some data quality issue, any of it, and it could have improved all of them at once, right? But it is picking one by one. So I ran it again, but it worked upon this. Look, it had the owner here, data, and also the tags. So earlier, the first version of it only looking for the issues, and just telling up the updating of the description with those issues, and then adding the tag that this data set needs the review. Right. So once it finishes, let's see which. I hope it will pick the one I showed you. But I think, the main key thing is extending it. Like, this is the exact same workflow you had used to build one from scratch. You could, if you're working with the building up the first category for the working out the real working agent, so it can ask, review, and run. So I just did on an this mini agent that already works. So we are not starting on an empty file, and you can maybe do same thing and extend it. So both of these prompts to build up the new agent, which you can modify as per you as per what you are building. And even if you are having the same and want to extend it, both will be given to you in the same repo, and you can just work upon to the like use it in the whatever tool you use, Cursor, Code, Codex, whichever is your go-to tool, right? So let's see what output it gave us. Okay, close it. Jump to the Mart billing table this time. Okay, that was also in the list, but I think you got the point. It will uh, do the same thing, updates the issue here. Okay, so yeah, that's the cache. It already had an owner, but it also signed it again. Yeah, but I think you got the point, like how it works, right? One more thing I want to share is, so this is the mini version, how you can build it and uh, put everything together, the context, the brain, and the agent, right? So this is just a minimum version, but if you want to see a much more complete production grade, the agent which you want to learn from, you can check out our analytics agent. So it's talk to your data agent, and you can ask a question in plain English. It uses DataHub context to write the SQL and run the right SQL queries for you and draw a chart. And uh, I won't deep dive into this right now, but it's I would say the more production ready version of the minimum version that I showed you, right? But if you want to jump into this, you can check out this as well. So let's see which one this picked up this time. Finally with the V staging front row. Okay, sorry, this picked up the this time it be this. So yeah, this time it's ran DataHub to this. Right. I'll just, drop the link to analytics agent as well in the chat. Okay, it's Darlesh already put it in, so you can refer to that. So okay, we are already over time. Just tie it together. Data gives you the context and the tools to reach it for free, and you just bring in your model, and the agent is the main thing that you're gonna build. The and everything in the middle of it, like the what reads your agent, what it reads from the data, what is decide based on that context, and how it acts to it, right? And again, one honest thing before you go build everything I showed you today, connecting, reading, uh, acting, right, and writing back. Uh, that's all is the mechanics, right? So the plumbing and the easy part now, this template basically handed to you. So I feel the hackathon isn't just really about, wiring these pieces together, that you pick up some LLM, or you pick up some like maybe this sample template and you connect it together, right? It's about, solving the problem you deal maybe daily, data stacks, or you have encountered something, right? So it's mainly about solving the problem. And the thing in your data that breaks every week, maybe there could be some machine learning model that quite drifted and costed you a lot, and you can just build a good uh, uh, agent or orchestrator for it, which can check for the breakage. And so maybe just start from a real problem which you have actually felt, and use this to go to fix. And also, like, how far you take it, that also count, right? It is not just about solving the problem, but how much production ready it is generally for the solution that you're providing. That is also, I think, judges are going to look at it. So I think that will all make the submission worth it. So everything I've shared, the repo and things will be given to you. I can drop the uh, link to the repo as well in the chat. So this is the repo. You can find it here. And most of the resources can also find it under the resource tab. And if you still have any questions, we have the agent hackathon channel specific to this hackathon, 5 weeks hackathon. You can come into the Slack, and you can just ask all the questions here. I'll be happy to help you out. I know there were a lot to cover into this minimal time, but I hope this will be helpful you to get started. And yeah, that was all from my side, Garlish.
Thanks so much, Lakshay, and amazing, amazing build session. Thank you all for attending. Like Lakshay said, if you have additional questions, all the resources are in the resources tab on the hackathon page. If you're joining us and you haven't registered for the hackathon, you still have time. You still have about 20 days to do so. The deadline, I believe, for this hackathon is August 10th. So August 10th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So you still have time to register. And if you have any additional questions, even after all the resources, even after all the documentation, you're definitely free to hop into the DataHub Slack, which is also in the resources tab. But we'll send out an email with the recording, an FAQ document that leverages the transcript of this talk as well as all the sample data sets and the agent starter as well. So you'll have everything you need. If you haven't started, you have everything you need to get started. If you have started, you have everything you need to kind of get unstuck. So thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and can't wait to see you all at the next build session and the next hackathon.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.